Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chinese Mom in Business Club, the Kunbi interview. My name is Xiaofang Sutton, and I am your co-host today, along with my wonderful co-founder, Sally. And I'm very excited about this episode because it's all about Italy and its style and beautiful things. And if you are like me, a genuine fan of Italy, you often ask yourself, why Italy is so attractive? For me personally, of course, is there a sense of style, but also is there attitude towards life. They even got a special phrase for it. Well, I hope I pronounce right. It's called dolce far niente. The pure pleasure of enjoying life. From the love, pray, and eat. It just not do nothing. I think that's really not many nations to actually purely enjoy that. And also, finally, for me, is their appreciation of beautiful things, their craftsmanship. And so I'm just today so excited. If you're like me, it's my lucky day today because we got our Italian friend Martina here. And she's so passionate about championing Italian craftsmanship and promoting and supporting Italian individual local makers. And it's incredible. And so welcome, Martina.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be with you today.
Fantastic. So we got lovely questions. So hopefully through this, and then we can actually get to know a bit about you and your company. And so fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Martini, for joining us from sunny Milan today. It's our honor to have you here today. So I have the honor to ask you the first question. Could you please tell us, our audience, in 3 sentences or less, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, sure. This is challenging as it usually takes a bit more than 3 sentences, but I try to be short. Hi, everyone. I am Martina Capriotti. I'm the co-founder of MIRTA. Before becoming an entrepreneur, I come from a consulting background. So I studied business in beautiful Rome. Then I moved to Milan when I started working. And I grew up in Boston Consulting Group. It's an international consulting company. I spent 4 years there. And that's where also I met my co-founder. So because we were working together there, then we took 2 different paths. He went to Stanford for his MBA in Silicon Valley. I went to Asia. I spent a couple of years between South Korea and Japan, working mostly for Asian fashion brands. And that's how also the idea of MIRTA came from. So I decided that I wanted to become an entrepreneur because I was tired of consulting and I wanted to really have an impact on the world around me. And that's how in mid of 2019, I came back to Italy together with my co-founder. We came back here because we really wanted to bring the best that we found on the international markets to Italy and to build something meaningful for our country. That's how we started.
Wow, so that's fantastic. So that's really nicely is into the second question about how did you actually set up MIRTA? And then I know every entrepreneur there is a beautiful story, often it's a fascinating up and down story about how set up the company and also why the name, where the name come from, and what's the name meaning to you, and just tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So basically, the idea came from both the experiences that my co-founder and I were living on 2 different sides of the world. So my co-founder at Stanford was studying a lot about tech startups, like how technology and innovation can really bring value and really change the world that surrounds us. On the other side, I was in Seoul, in South Korea, and I was working for a fashion brands that wanted to move more and more to the luxury space. So for the premium to the luxury space. And one of the actions we were working on was to move all the production and the style from Korea to Italy. Because for them, it was very important to have the made in Italy quality of the product, the made in Italy tag on the product, and to really have that craftsmanship that the whole world really see as the best for their own products. So we were working with these Korean teams to find the best makers in Italy across different regions to basically produce their products. And that's where I understood more about the power of Made in Italy. So, I mean, how really it's a brand itself. It's something that is really recognized worldwide as excellence. And on the other side, how on the Italian territory, there are like thousands of these makers, mainly hidden in small cities and small workshops that really produce like beautiful things, but they don't really know how to sell them. So because they're makers, so they produce something, they don't really know how to then have these products go to the international markets. I mean, on the other side, when I was abroad, I was seeing that the Made in Italy that I know, being in Italian, and also the Made in Italy that people around me knew from their traveling to Italy and being in Florence and having something crafted for them, I mean, they couldn't find it on the international market. So that's where I saw an opportunity to bring the best makers and to give them the tools and the technology to enable them to reach the international markets. And
Fantastic.
that's also how the idea of the name came from. I mean, MIRTA basically is the feminine version of mirto, which is myrtle. It's a plant, and it's a plant dedicated to beauty. So if you look at the picture from Botticelli and from other painters from the past, where there is like Venus, so the symbol of beauty, there is myrtle, because both of them are symbol of beauty. And so we liked a lot, as our mission is really to bring the beauty of Italian makers and the beauty of Italian products to the world. We saw that this name was perfect to match also our mission.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for being the bridge and also create a platform to actually showcase all the Italian kind of craftsmanship. And in my personal experience, I remember when I was in Florence and we walk along this small street, and then you walk into this handbag shop, and it's so tiny, but everything, the smell, I actually got a bag from there, but it's just amazing. And also the whole experience, you're talking to them. You can see the passion, the skill is a generation, it's a small family business. So that's really attractive, obviously, to me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what we want to recreate. I mean, we want to not only to bring these products from Italy to the world, but also to recreate online. So for people that cannot travel, or when they are on the sofa of their houses on the other side of the world, we want to recreate that experience of being in Florence and really being in the workshop with the maker. And that's why we put a lot of effort, not only on showing products and giving the best experience to customers, but also to telling stories. So there are huge storytelling part in what we do, because part of the value of the product that we sell, it's in the story of the maker who's making it, Yes. I mean, the stories of the family. And so that's why we put a lot of effort also in telling stories and trying to bring a overall experience to the customer that just goes beyond the product.
Fantastic.
Great. For me, hearing is so empowering, to actually empower the makers to become global through your platform. So I'm sure you'll be super successful. So you talk a lot about beauty craftsmanship, about Italian products, etc. From your perspective, from a local Italian running your own business, going global, what is the kind of the essence? What is so special about Italian products compared to, I don't know, French, German, British? So what do you think Italy is really the best?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, exactly. That's a beautiful question. I'm happy to answer. So basically, I think that what makes Italian products so special is basically two things. So one is heritage. And the second is Italy itself. So heritage meaning that, I mean, you may have seen it in Florence, but actually it's all over Italy. There are so many of these makers, of these small businesses, family businesses that have been passed down from one generation to the other. Now there are like the young generations that are keeping the business alive as their ancestors were doing. So also keeping alive the tradition, also keeping alive the production techniques. So doing things as we were doing them in the past. And that's, I mean, we have thousands of these small business, and that's truly a treasure for our country, because yeah, it's part of the heritage of the past and something that we cannot afford to lose. I mean, it's true that there is more and more technology, there is innovation, but the beauty of having something made by hand and with the traditional techniques and something that brings the stories of the past to the future is really something that we cannot afford to lose, and something that is so inherited in the Italian culture, you know. It's something
it's in the blood. Please preserve them. It's in the blood.
Exactly.
It's Italian.
Exactly. It's in the families. It's something that when we grew up, we are surrounded by, and so we feel it's part of the culture. And the second thing that makes Italian product so special is probably Italy, at least to me. I feel that Italy is so beautiful and so rich of history, of art, of beauties in nature, architectural beauties, so that people, and especially the makers, are really inspired by what surrounds them. So once I was talking with one of our makers in Florence, and we were asking him, how do you come up with beautiful products? What inspires you? And he was like, I mean, I'm living in Florence every day. I go out and I see like beautiful things around me, beautiful nature, beautiful buildings, so much of the beautiful things of the past that I'm really inspired to create beautiful things myself. So I think being surrounded by beauty is also part of making Italian products so beautiful and so special.
And also, I think it's been living in the moment, and then you really observe, you know, that's how you get all the inspiration. You connect it with the local kind of architecture and everything.
Exactly.
It's fantastic. And then one of the things, obviously, one of the things the whole world crazy about, you know, Chinese people crazy about Italian is the quality, right? Is that's where the money we were just wanting to pay. And then so that's really famous. But I love to hear from you, you know, what does quality mean to you, you know, as the championing of the craftsmanship, and then why does that matter from your perspective and from your organization perspective?
Yeah, let's say that to me, quality is a synonym of luxury, or luxury is quality. So especially in the past 20 to 30 years, we really saw a shift in the meaning of luxury. So something that started from having something crafted for you in an atelier by a maker, something super special and super high quality, to something that is identified by a price or a logo. I feel that now we are in an historical moment where we are going back to the real meaning of luxury. And to me, luxury means quality. So a product which is made with traditional techniques, something that is really made by hand, and where the person who's making it is really pouring all the skills and also their heart and the love for what they do in the product itself. So that's part of the quality. It's not only the material that we use that are, of course, high quality, that are sustainable, etc., but it's also how things are made with the passion and with the techniques that has been passed down from generations. So I think that as of today, we are really going back to the roots to really wanting something which is high quality, because we feel that that's the real meaning of luxury. And quality also means something that is durable, that really stays for generations, something that we can pass down also to generations, something that is not made to be worn like a few times, but something that is made to be kept with us, because it has a meaning that goes beyond the product. It's something that we are really affectionated by, and something that we feel our own, not just because we are carrying it and we are showing it, but because it has a deeper meaning for us. So for me, like, quality is all of this.
Fantastic. It's kind of the soul, isn't it? It feels the passion. That's what I think it is. It's Italian passion. It's kind of merged together with the product. And I think often that's basically often the experience when you go to, especially the small shops, wherever you're in Venice and then Rome. It just basically, when they talk about, they are so kind of power of that, you know, they're so, and then often they're so loud and talk so much wanting to talk to you about it. It's because it really is passing down through generation, and then it really is product is them, is a family. It's kind of
exactly
that. So
yeah, they're really willing to tell you like the story of what's behind, of telling you like all the details of the products, because they're pouring all their passion in it. It's not just a product, it's something that goes beyond. And to me, like quality and luxury is also this. It's something that is not just something that we own because we like owning things. It's something that has a deeper meaning for us. And that's what makes it also so special. That's why also I'm so passionate about this project and what we are trying to do, because I really see that we are enabling these, not only these makers, but also the values that these makers represent to go transition to the future. So giving them the tools to stay true to their roots and to their values, but being able to get to the modern consumer somehow, which is more digital, which is international, etc. So, but something that we really want to preserve is like the heritage, the things these makers are actually doing things, because that's something that doesn't need to change. It's so beautiful, so powerful, and also so precious that we cannot afford to lose it.
Fantastic. I think that's what works. Beautiful things and give you a sense of joy. And that's why I was so happy and drawn to Italy as a whole.
Exactly.
Thank you. So Martina, I wonder, who is your favorite maker among so many amazing makers? And could you tell us what's special about them, why you love them?
That's very difficult to answer, because actually I really love all of them. Especially, I mean, I love to hear their stories. I mean, the part that when Ciro, my co-founder, and I started doing at first in 2019 when we launched the company was really to take a car and drive across Tuscany to find the small makers, knock at their doors, and really get to know them. And that was actually the most beautiful part. We were really entering their workshops to really get to know them, see where things are created and where things happen, hear their stories, see their passion. And that's really what makes me also so passionate about what we're doing, and really make me feel the value of what we are doing, because I love that feeling of being with them in the places where things happen. And that's also the place where they feel more comfortable, and when they really open up and really tell you everything about themselves, about their business, about also the difficulties that they had across time. And that's also where we bonded with them and really created that trust that enabled us to believe in our project. If I have to name a few of these, probably one of the beautiful stories I like is Pelletteria Viviani. Is a small workshop in the center of Florence. It's at the third generation that is really taking the workshop alive and the business alive. And actually, the grandfather of Leonardo, who is now in charge of managing the workshop, learned how to do the bags in the workshop of Guccio Gucci, the founder of Gucci. There was just a small workshop at the time.
Wow.
A small workshop in Florence where they were doing things by hand. And the grandfather was there as a young apprentice to really learn how to do bags. And now, I mean, what I love about the story is that they kept their business from those old days to today exactly the same. So that's the real example of staying true to your roots, doing things as the grandfather learned in the boutique of Guccio Gucci, and really preserving the tradition. It's the workshop is so beautiful. Like, it's really in the center of Florence, but if you enter, it seems to be somewhere else back in time. They do all things by hand. They cut the leather. There is like Leonardo with his mother and his father really doing all these beautiful things. And to me, every time I go there, it's so beautiful because it's really part of the heritage of our country. So that's really a good example. Wow. And another one, it's like Adriano Stefanelli in the north of Italy, who actually has been making shoes for the greatest people in the world. He's been the shoemaker of the Pope for many years. Wow. So crafting the shoes for the Pope. And now he's on board on MIRTA to craft shoes for our international customers. In the same way he was doing, and in the same place he has been doing it for the Pope for so many years. So these are the stories I love, are just some examples, but it gives you an idea of, I mean, there are thousands of makers, but each of them has a unique story. And that's why we need so much storytelling to really help the stories to come out to the world and to international consumers to really get to know them. because the truth is, as of today, they are like small businesses, family owned, not very much online. And so it's really difficult to find them and to really hear them. And what we love about them is that they have so many interesting things to tell, that we really want to empower them with all the means we have, technology, both the website and the tools that we offer them to really stay up to date with the current market, to really empower them not only to survive, but really to become the winner of a new way of meaning luxury somehow.
But that's amazing. I think, just the way how they preserve the workshop is because they're so good at what they do, and then they're so true and passionate about and staying the way it is, not affected by technology, or we can make it quicker and stuff. I think that's how they actually get the quality there, exactly. And then the beautiful story. But what MIRTA was doing is basically combine that with technology and do what you guys are good at and combine these together. And I think that's really the essence of they can continue to do what they are actually good at. And I think that's the essence of what comes to the consumer like us, and then we can actually feel the sense of joy owning something. And then about the story, but you genuinely just love it. That's basically, I think, about owning things, particularly for our members. We are all sophisticated women, so we're actually reached to certain stage of our life and our career, and we're not basically going out just basically owning the things for the sake of owning it. We don't need the thing to say or to make us feel good about it, but we own it is because we want it. It gave us a joy. So this really came. It's just a lovely story just to hear two of them, and hopefully there's more stories on your website, and then we can actually to basically learn more about these makers, and it just time flies, Martina, and thank you very much for your time, and then just to give us that small glimpse of beautiful side of from your eyes, and the beautiful side of the Italian makers and all their heritage, and then of course, I think if you wanted to basically check out the shoes, the shoemaker who actually made the shoes for the Pope, and all these amazing makers, and do check out the website MIRTA. So hopefully I pronounced right. And then I had a look beforehand. Is amazing, beautiful things. And I think my husband would be worried about our credit card, which is fine. And also just to show Martina, I got lots of things. This is my coffee table book. Just before our interview, I flipped through to make myself more connected to you, to Italy. But I personally really love everything you do, and I think on behalf of myself, I really appreciate the work. Is really a service that you are doing on connecting the Italian individual makers and to the rest of the world, and bringing these beautiful things to us. Sally?
Yes, I'm very inspired by your mission to bring the best of Italy to the rest of the world, and I wish you all the best. And if there's anything we can help, let us know. We are part of your fans. Thank you.
Thanks so much. No, first, thanks so much for giving me the chance to explain what we do and really show like the passion that we put in everything we do to really enable these makers. I mean, as you were mentioning, we really are enablers. We don't want to change the way they do things. We want just to provide them services and tools to make sure that what they do in a beautiful way can reach more and more people, even if they are not traveling to Italy. So thanks so much for having me. And if any of you pass by Milan, just feel free to reach out.
Oh, definitely. Fantastic. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And then hopefully you can check out their website. It's called MIRTA, spelled as MIRTA. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.